It's only another 24 days till Christmas. So what I'm going to try to do for you is put up a video every weekday between now and Christmas that somehow relates to the Christmas story. Some of the videos are going to be stories from the Bible, and some of them are going to be a bit more like this one, which are background information. This is Storytime with Josh, and this is the Christmas story. Today I wanted to set the scene for the Christmas story, because if you've been watching my Storytime with Josh videos so far, you'll know that the Christmas story didn't just start when Jesus was born. God had been preparing his people for Jesus' arrival. You may remember the story I told where David decided that he was going to build a temple for God, but God said, "No, you're not going to build a house for me. I'm going to build a house for you. That is, I'm going to build a dynasty of kings who are going to rule over Israel forever." Let me read it to you from 2 Samuel. "Furthermore, the Lord declares that he will make a house for you, a dynasty of kings. For when you die and are buried with your ancestors, I will raise up one of your descendants, your own offspring, and I will make his kingdom strong. He is the one who will build a house, a temple for my name, and I will secure his royal throne forever. I will be his father, and he will be my son. Your house and your kingdom will continue before me for all time, and your throne will be secure forever." So you see that the Israelites had this concept that David's descendants were going to rule forever, and that one of David's descendants was going to have an everlasting kingdom. A bit later on, around about 700 years before Jesus, there was a prophet named Isaiah. This is what he had to say. Then Isaiah said, "Listen well, you royal family of David. Isn't it enough to exhaust human patience? Must you exhaust the patience of God as well? All right, the Lord himself will give you a sign. Look, the virgin will conceive a child. She will give birth to a son, and he will be called Emmanuel, which means God with us." A little bit later, Isaiah said this, "The people who walk in darkness will see a great light. For those who live in a land of deep darkness, a light will shine. You will enlarge the nation of Israel, and its people will rejoice. They will rejoice before you, as people rejoice at the harvest, and like warriors dividing the plunder. For you will break the yoke of their slavery, and lift the heavy burden from their shoulders. You will break the oppressor's rod, just as you did when you destroyed the army of Midian. The boots of the warrior and the uniforms blood-stained by war will be burned. They will be fuel for the fire. For a child is born to us. A son is given to us. The government will rest on his shoulders, and he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. His government and its peace will never end. He will rule with fairness and justice from the throne of his ancestor David, for all eternity. A passionate commitment of the Lord of Heaven's armies will make this happen." Is this all that the Old Testament has to say about the coming of Jesus? Not at all. There was a prophet around the same time as Isaiah, whose name was Micah. Today the book of Micah is probably best known for Micah chapter 6 verse 8, which says, "He has shown you, O man, what is good. What does the Lord require of you? To act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God." But what did Micah have to say about the coming of Jesus? Let me read to you. "But you, O Bethlehem Ephrathah, are only a small village among all the people of Judah. Yet a ruler of Israel will come from you, one whose origins are from the distant past. The people of Israel will be abandoned by their enemies until the woman in labor gives birth. Then at last his fellow countrymen will return from exile to their own land, and he will stand to lead his flock with the Lord's strength, in the majesty and the name of the Lord his God. Then his people will live there undisturbed, for he will be highly honored around the world, and he will be the source of peace." The last foretelling of Jesus' coming that I want to read to you was written by the prophet Malachi. And this is the last book in the Old Testament. And it's probably around about 300 years after Isaiah. So around about 400, maybe 450 years before Jesus came. Look, I am sending my messenger, and he will prepare the way before me. Then the Lord you are seeking will suddenly come to his temple. The messenger of the covenant, whom you are looking for so eagerly, is surely coming, says the Lord of heaven's armies. But who will be able to endure it when he comes? Who will be able to stand and face him when he appears? For he will be like a blazing fire that refines metal, or like a strong soap that bleaches clothes. He will sit like a refiner of silver, burning away the dross. He will purify the Levites, refining them like gold and silver, so that they may once again offer acceptable sacrifices to the Lord. Then once more the Lord will accept the offerings brought to him by the people of Judah and Jerusalem, as he did in the past. At that time I will put you on trial. I am eager to witness against all sorcerers and adulterers and liars. I will speak against those who cheat employees of their wages, who oppress widows and orphans, or who deprive the foreigners living among you of justice. For these people do not fear me, says the Lord of heaven's armies. So there you have it, a few of the prophecies about Jesus coming. If you want to read the whole passages that those prophecies were taken from, check out the links in the descriptions. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow on Storytime with Josh.